guys, it's Sarah, and today we are going to go through all of the books that I was anticipating this year. So anything that was on my seasonal most anticipated releases list. I'm going to talk about if I've read them, if I own them, what's my status, all that good stuff. I'm not going to give any synopsis. This is just literally, here's what I was anticipating. Did I read it or not? If I did, here's my star rating, and move on, because we have 35 books to talk about today. So we're gonna do this quick. We're just gonna go by the month and just kind of by publication order, basically. So in January, I was anticipating All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham. I did read this book. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I did read this recently, actually, and I loved this one as well. I did give this one 4 stars. It went a little bit off the rails for me, kind of towards the end, but I love Grady Hendrix. I love his writing, and I thought it was fantastic. So 4 stars for this one, but yeah. Okay, The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis. I have not read this book yet. He wrote American Psycho, which is one of my favorite books of all time. That is the most disturbing book I've ever read in my life. But I want to read more from him, and this is his newest release. Obviously, it came out earlier this year, but I haven't read it yet. Oh, it's a chunker too. But I really want to. The next one is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, and this is by Benjamin Stevenson. I have not read this yet. I actually just recently got this as a gift from Laura, so thank you so much, Laura. And yeah, so obviously want to, and I just received it as a gift. So the next one is really good, actually, by Monica Heisey. This one I actually did start, and I ended up DNFing it. It was not at all what I thought it was going to be, and I did not like the narrative of it. I was not having a good time reading it at all. I think I got 20 to 30% in from what I'm remembering, but yeah, it was a DNF for me. The next one is Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I did not read this, and I'm not going to. I've actually since decided I think I'm going to break up with Tessa Bailey as an author. I read a couple of her books, and I've just been underwhelmed by them and not really wanting to spend my time reading her books, which I hate to say, but not every author's for everybody, and that's okay. So I actually did try a chapter with this one. And when I had done that, I was like, oh yeah, I'll read this still. And then after a little bit of time, I was like, I think I'm good. And I have since read another book by her, which was a 3-star for me. And that kind of solidified, I just don't think I want to read her books anymore. And that's okay. So did not read it. Don't plan to. The next one is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I did read this book, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. This is one that I read on my Kindle, and I had a really good time with this one. It doesn't get the highest ratings, which I guess I can understand. I mean, I don't have to understand it. It's fine. I had a great time. I gave it 4 stars, and I really liked it. Okay, next for March, the first one is What Have We Done by Alex Finley, and this one I have not read. I have all 3 of his books, and I have not read a single one. I need to change that. I was anticipating this one, and I didn't get to it, nor did I get to his other 2 books that I already had. It's fine. But yeah, I haven't read this one yet. Next one is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. I have not read this one yet either. This was kindly sent to me from the publishers, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I did read the first book in the City of Brass series by her, which this is a little bit of a piggyback off of that. I think it's in a different time period, but in the same world. And I really loved City of Brass. That was a 5-star read for me. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet, but I've heard amazing things about it. Okay, these next ones for March. The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. This is another one that I DNF'd. I was listening to this on audio, and I don't know. It was so sexual. I didn't like it. It wasn't at all what I was expecting it to be. I really thought we were going to go into this whole witchy thing and, secret societies and, all this stuff. And it was a little bit like that, but it was so over-sexualized. There were either sex scenes or self-serving sex scenes, if you know what I mean, every other page. And I was like, what is going on? Why why is this a thing? Why are we sexualizing these women so much to the point where it was distracting from the storyline that I really wanted? So I just was not digging it, which is really interesting because her first book, I gave 5 stars. So I was really excited for this one, but it did not work for me at all. Next one is Sea Change by Gina Chung. This is an octopus book that a lot of people were saying to read if you really liked Remarkably Bright Creatures. So I tried, and I DNF'd this one too. This octopus was not it, guys. It was not part of the story. There was the octopus in like 2 scenes maybe, and it was just in the background. And then I had heard later on that it really was not about the octopus at all, and that's what I wanted. So, yeah, I ended up DNFing this one too because I felt disappointed. So, okay, April, Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I love Abby Jimenez so much. She's one of my favorite authors. I plan to read every single thing that she has already written and what she writes in the future. This is a spinoff of Part of Your World, which I absolutely loved. And this one follows a side character in that one. And I love this one as well. I did give this one 4 stars, but it was still just fantastic. All right, next is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I did read this book and I absolutely loved it. I gave this one 5 stars. It was fantastic. Next one is For You and Only You by Caroline Kepnes. This is the 4th and latest book in the Joe Goldberg series, which the first one is called You. And I really, really enjoyed this one too. And in this one, we're in Boston, which is really cool because I've been there before, so I knew some of the locations and stuff. And I just love being in Joe Goldberg's head, which is a terrible place to be, but I love it. And I gave this one 4 stars. The next one is The Last Word by Taylor Adams, which was very kindly sent to me from the publishers, but I haven't read it yet. But he's another author that I want to go all in on. And I haven't read it. It's fine. This one is In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune, another author that I am all in on 100%. And just haven't read this one quite yet. But yeah, this was his newest release this year. Okay, moving on to May, we have Chain Gang All-Stars. This is by Nana Kwame Adiji Brenna, and I have heard such good things about this one. I haven't read it yet. I actually just recently, in the past few weeks, purchased this one. So it's, a newer purchase to me, but I wanted to make sure I went ahead and got it because it's definitely one that is something I really want to read. The next one is No Two Persons. This is by Erica Bauermeister. I actually started this book on my Kindle, and then I put it down and never went back to it. And I don't know why, because I remember enjoying what I was reading. I don't know if I just got busy or other things took priority maybe, but I haven't gone back to it. But I want to. So at some point I will go back to that one and read it because I was enjoying what I was reading. I did not get very far. I maybe got 6% into it. So yeah, but I will go back to that one. But I did start it. It's kind of weird. Okay, June, All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby. I have not read this book yet, but oh my gosh, do I want to. I love him as an author. I've read a couple of his books already, and I want to read everything he writes because his writing is really, really good. Okay, next one is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. This is another author that I have decided to break up with. I'm not going to be reading her books moving forward. I did read Love on the Brain. I've read that entire book earlier this year, and I did not like it at all. I did not. And thinking upon further distance from The Love Hypothesis, which I ended up giving 5 stars when I read, upon further distance, I'm seeing a lot of things that I was maybe blinded by, or I think if I read it today, it would be different. So I think I'm not going to read any more of Ali Hazelwood's books. I'm just not finding a whole lot for me in them. So, yeah. A Crown of Ivy and Glass by Claire Legrand. This is another author that I am all in on, and I have not read this one yet either. This is the newest book from her, and it is the first book in an adult fantasy series. She has previously written middle grade and young adult, and this is her first adult debut. So I'm very excited to read it at some point. Just haven't gotten there yet. All right. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. Read it. Loved it. I'm kind of comfortable saying this is my favorite Riley Sager book. That's hard. What's my favorite Riley Sager book? I don't know. And I still have one more that I need to, or 2 more I still need to read. I have 2 of his books I haven't read yet, but this one is like top tier for me. 5 stars if I didn't mention that. Okay, next one is How Can I Help You by Laura Sims. This was in July. I did not like this book at all. I gave it 2 stars. It just was not at all what I was expecting at all, and I did not enjoy my reading experience with that one. So the next one is Twisted Love Story by Samantha Downing. I did read this and I really did enjoy this one. Samantha Downing's another like all-in author for me. I did give this one 4 stars, and it was a deliciously twisted, terrible characters behaving badly, and I loved it. Next is Kelsey Murphy and the Hunt for the Heart of Danu by Erica Lewis. This is the second book in a middle grade series, and I read the first one last year and really, really enjoyed it and definitely wanted to read number 2. The publishers kindly sent this my way, and I haven't read it yet, but definitely still want to. It's on my list, so maybe middle grade March this year, I'll dive into this one. I think I want to work on sequels maybe for middle grade March is what I'm thinking, because I have a few middle grade sequels I have not read yet. So I'm thinking about like that might be my focus, and this would definitely be at the top of my list. And for July, House of Roots and Ruin by Erin A. Craig. Oh, this book is so gorgeous. This is the sequel to The House of Salt and Sorrows, which I really, really enjoyed when I read it. And it was a huge surprise on how much I love that book. It's been a bit since I've read it, though, so I think I might want to reread that one and then dive into this one because it's been a bit since the first one came out. So yeah, but I definitely will be doing that. I feel like I do need to reread the first one and kind of revisit that and get to know the characters again because it's been a while. But yeah. It's so gorgeous, though. God, I can't stop looking at it. Okay, so moving on to August, The Conleys of County Down by Tracy Lang. I have not read this one yet. I do have it on my Kindle through NetGalley. I really loved her first book, and I definitely want to read this one. I don't have as high expectations for it, so maybe that's why I'm hesitating a little bit, and I haven't read it yet, but yeah. Okay, and then Dark Corners by Megan Golden. This is a sequel to The Night Swim, which follows the same podcaster from that book. And I did really enjoy this one. I did read this one. I listened to it and I gave it 4 stars. I gave The Night Swim 4 stars as well. It's just really good. I really like the character, and her name is Rachel, and kind of what she's doing. She's a true crime podcaster. So I enjoy it. Those are good. It's Not a Cult by Lauren Danoff. I have not read this one either. I do have it on my Kindle, but I haven't read it yet. Okay, and then in September, I only had one, and that is Of Time and Turtles by Cy Montgomery. Haven't read this one yet either, but I loved The Soul of an Octopus that I read earlier this year, and I definitely want to read this one. It's a nonfiction about turtles. Okay, for October, Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. This was my number 1 most anticipated book of the entire year, and I read it, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. The ending... So yeah, loved it. Okay, also in October, actually I had Shadowheart by Meg Gardner, which is book number 4 in the Unsub series, but that's been pushed to next year. So that's not even coming out this year anymore. Okay, next is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I have not read this one yet. I did get it from Book of the Month, and I, still want to, obviously. I'm hearing good things about it though, but I just haven't read it yet. Okay, also for October, 10 Things That Never Happened by Alexis Hall. I have this on my Kindle as well. I have not read it yet. Okay, November, there was only one. We all know my love for this book in this series. Loved it, read it, 5 stars. I have a whole reading vlog. I'll leave a link down below. I love it. In December, The Vacation by John Mars, which I have not read and will not read before the end of the year. I don't have plans to read that yet. But yeah, I have it on my Kindle. Okay, so breaking down the numbers really quickly. My total, I took out the one that was pushed for Shadowheart. So of the total that I had on here, it's 35. I read 12. 17 are unread. I DNF 3. I broke up with 2 of the authors, and 1 was pushed for publication. Star ratings, 5 of them I gave 5 stars. 6 of them I gave 4 stars. No 3 stars, and 1 2-star, and no 1 stars. So that's pretty good. I mean, mostly 4 stars from what I read. I definitely have more unread than what I did read, so there is that. But yeah, and that's it. Anticipated books are going to be more of a priority for me next year. So yay, I'll probably have smaller lists with a higher percentage of read is my goal. So, all right, please let me know down below if you have read any of these books or any of these anticipated reads for you. I would love to know, and I will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.